maybe like 100 years ago, people used hand weave like clothes and everything was like human made.
Yes.
And now everything is just like machine made, right? You have like some sort of like sewing machine or whatever, like different industrial machines that mass manufacture all the clothes for you. And the coding is going through a similar phenomena. Like all of code was human written, where like a coder is like manually writing each single line of code for like 100,000 lines, which sounds crazy.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Ascend Stories of Scale. This is Angelique Strauss, and with me today is Div Garg, the CEO of AGI. Hi, Div.
Great to be here.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. So let's talk about you and AGI and what you guys are building, coming from NVIDIA, Stanford, Cobalt, and all of these. Like, maybe give us a background of yours.
I started my journey working in a lot of big companies like Google, Apple, NVIDIA, Uber. At that time, a lot of top secret AI projects. And then spend a lot of time working on like self-driving cars, robotics, always fascinated about like what's next in AI. How can this be used to benefit all of humanity? And that really inspired me, like how do I go and do things like this myself? My first company, Meltdown, we were like the first AI agent in the industry. We basically innovated like browser use, computer use. Started as a side project doing my PhD just after ChatGPT came out. We built the first prototype 2 weeks after ChatGPT was there. This was very
early.
Very early, yes. This was before like there was a GPT-4 model.
Okay.
Or like there was a actual OpenAI API. That journey has been really fun. I was doing that for 2 years. We have been funded by some like top investors in the area like General Catalyst and then a lot of the strategic ones. When we started, the technology was very early. Like there was not much in terms of like agents or even like vision models. We realized very fast if you're building a new product from like a technology that's very early, but that's very groundbreaking. It's kind of like you're building something brittle, where like it's like hard to like scale because like, there's so many edge cases, right? So even if you look at like agents right now, like OpenClaw,
Yes.
they're like very hypey, but it's very hard to make them reliable, trustworthy.
Yeah.
And so from my journey at Meltdown, we initially started with like, okay, like, can we build an agent that's a personal agent that eventually billions of people can use? And we realized very fast, like, okay, that's a very hard challenge with agents given their technology.
Yeah.
And we found a lot of product market fit with the developers, enterprises, and that's where that company ended up going. When I was starting AGI, I was like, okay, like I want to like start something that's basically built from ground up, where we're doing our own research, we're basically like collecting our own data, training our own models. And so we spin off AGI as a research lab, focusing on like, okay, like how do you build agents that are very secure and very trustworthy?
Yeah, before you actually go into that, I saw your blog about, you saying like our app's dead. So let's unpack that a little bit. What are your thoughts on that? And walk us through that blog that you just wrote.
Pretty much everything that we do is starting to get automated. And so we already see that with like Cloud Code and Cloud Cowork.
Yes.
And so a lot of like engineering aspects, sort of like business functions. We think like the next wave is going to be like, how can the same thing happen pretty much like for everyone in their personal lives? And we believe that it's going to be something where we totally redesign like the current interfaces. So can you have a AI device where I can just talk to the device, you can just do things for me?
Yeah.
And if AI can go and use any software, any app you have installed automatically, then you don't need apps in the form factor they are in right now. Because a lot of those things were made for humans,
Yes.
for me to click and type and interact normally. But I think that wave is going to away because like humans will not be like clicking and typing and using devices the way they have been in the past. It'll be more like a voice-driven interaction.
Yeah.
And now we need to start designing for this world. Like if things can happen just by talking to it or by chatting to the device itself.
Simultaneously. Yeah.
And then we start building something like I will call it like something like Jarvis.
Okay.
From the like the Iron Man movies.
Yeah.
And it's like it's like a living, breathing interface, and it adapts to the users. It personalizes to you.
That's actually my next question. Can you walk me through what that experience feels like? Because a lot of AI solutions today are very early. It's actually changing how we work. It changes how we even like think and decide on things. On how you're envisioning this product, can you just explain in your plain words, like how does it feel to have basically this assistant work for you?
For anyone who has used a human executive assistant, like having a human EA is almost a superpower because there's so many things you can delegate. Right now, like I would say only maybe 1% or less of the population actually have an EA. Because it's expensive. What we want to do is we want to enable like the remaining 99% of the population to have the same capabilities. Like, can I have an AI that almost like it's living with me, it's working for me 24/7. Anything that like it's like all the small chores, like say like paying a bill, like even like something like ordering food, booking restaurants, like helping you with travel. All of those chores can be fully delegated.
What are the main problems do you think it solves? Because if you really think about it, like how it currently works today, it's working, right? What kind of value are you giving to your users?
Big thing right now in the space is like there has not been any killer products with agents that have actually taken off.
Yeah.
And so if you look at like a lot of the AI browser waves that happened last year, nothing was very sticky. Even if you look at OpenClaw, it's not very sticky. It's actually, there's so many vulnerabilities where things can break and so many loopholes, right? We want to build something that like people can trust. Okay, like if I'm using this, I trust the AI to do the right thing. It won't mess up. It won't cause problems for me. It won't send like a wrong message to my friend.
Yeah.
And
It will not hallucinate.
yes, and that becomes like something like you have to like really think in and be thoughtful about like how you're architecting and designing the product. Like from day one, you have to have the principle. Okay, like how does this product win human trust? How do we climb all the last miles of like AI reliability? And that becomes a lot of stuff around like how do you build the right systems, benchmark them, evaluate them, make sure they're scalable to millions of people. And also that's a humongous challenge. I think we are still like maybe like 2 years away from having these agents like really like be into something that everyone trusts for everything.
Yeah. I mean, can you also unpack to us, like, because I think a lot of people interchanging them, having an assistant and an agent.
Yep.
What's the difference?
Yeah, I would say it's interesting.
Because sometimes it's also confusing.
Yes.
Like it's very interchangeable.
Yes. Like I would definitely say it's a very ambiguous, like where the boundary between these two terms are.
Yeah.
And I would say agents is something that just became like the hypey word.
Yeah.
Like the buzzword. Things are happening automatically for you. And developers really like the word because it's kind of like relates to like agency and being able to like do things. When you think about something like assistant, that feels more consumery. Where like this is something that like maybe a normal user is using and it's helping them as part of their daily life.
Okay.
Whereas like agent is something that's more, I would say, like a developer word at this point.
More enterprise.
More enterprise or anyone like doing a B2B kind of motions. Like prefers to use agents.
Being very early on, right? Yep. Like I think your product is also ahead of the curve. Where do you see the competitive differentiation of this for what's available in the market today?
One thing we're trying to do is we're building a lot of our technology from the ground up. And that includes like the models, the way we're architecting them, the way we're training them. And so what we've done is we build like small models that can run directly on the hardware itself. So can we make these models tiny enough that they can fit on your phone, PCs, or any other form factor? That allows to have like very, very cheap cost. And that's not possible if you're just using something like Gemini or like some other like Claude or other APIs. That gives us a big advantage in the market. We're like we're just not a wrapper company. It's not easy to like build the same thing, like high amounts of effort.
And you did mention earlier security, a very secure solution. How are you dealing with that right now in terms of security and privacy? If you remember when ChatGPT launched ChatGPT agents, that was actually one of the problems they had. For some reason, when you share your credit card information, it stays and then they retracted, they changed few things to fix that right away.
Yeah, that's a great question. And so we actually think about this almost every day. And so this is like top of mind for us as a company. This becomes a question of like one is like how much a user trusts the agent.
Yes.
Especially if it's new. Very privacy first. Like if the models are running on device, you don't have to like worry about your data getting stolen, for example.
Yes.
And so you can even trust the agent with your passwords, credit card data, a lot of sensitive information because you can be guaranteed, okay, like this is running locally on the hardware itself. It's not going to go into like a cloud. And so you don't have to worry about someone hijacking that connection or even like a third party that might like show advertisements or something. So just like having that level of trust, okay, that this is just fully private is great. And users love that, especially if like it has to do with visual data, your screenshots, things that are happening on the phone. The second thing is like also like around permissions. For example, you probably don't want the agent to like work on your banking app, for example, because there's a lot of things that could go wrong. But like it's maybe totally fine if it's like maybe managing your emails.
But I think we might get there too, right? In the future.
Yes.
If you really want to automate everything.
You will get there, but I think we think about like trust as a ladder, and it's like something that you climb up over time.
Okay.
So like even if you look at human relationships, we like when you meet someone new, they're kind of like strangers. You become acquaintances, then you keep climbing the ladder until you're friends, closer friends, and so on. And so I think the same thing will happen with AI.
I like
The
that
first
take.
time, yes. And so the first time someone uses an AI, they'll be like, okay, like I don't know if I trust this new thing. Like I give it some like simple tasks. It's able to do the simple tasks really well. Maybe like manage my calendar or emails. And it's like, okay, like yeah, like it's good. I trust it more. Now I will give it something that's more personal and sensitive. Maybe can it go and buy things for me? Can it order food? Can it maybe like book restaurants? Then I was like, okay, like now I trust it enough in my like sensitive zone
Yeah.
that okay, like it can like manage my money and
Yeah.
like banking and
Yeah.
and then it's in the level like okay, like really trust this, and then it's very hard to like replace that
Yeah, it's
one.
very sticky at that point.
Yes.
Yeah. Sounds good. I was looking at your website. I did sign up for the wait list because I was really curious about how everything's going to unfold for your product. And I saw that you have 162,000 people on the wait list as of yesterday. Part of Ascend is talking about scaling. And I want to ask you about how did you drive this demand this early?
Yeah, we'll just say we have seen like enormous like user demand
Yeah.
of people who just really want something that can like just do things for them, especially on their phone. And so if you look at like products like Siri, they have been around for almost a decade now, but and they have a great vision, but just like technically it's just not good enough.
Yeah, it's hard to talk to Siri. They don't. She's not listening most of the time.
Yes.
Or even interpreting what I'm trying to say to her all the time. So yeah.
Definitely. So the thing is, like, there's a lot of suppressed demand from users who really want to use those things. Like everyone really wants a personal assistant on the devices, but it just has not been delivered properly. And we think this is the right era where this can finally happen.
So what are the strategies that you did behind there? I saw that you're doing some referral. Can you talk a little bit more about how you start that, or what are the strategies behind you pulling 162,000 waitlist this early?
Yeah, a lot of it just was like we built like a really viral video, for example. And people love watching our launch video. I think that helped us like just get above like punching through the noise and having a lot of momentum in the market. And we're also like I would say like the first product in this category. People have been toying with ideas, but we're the first thing that actually works. You can start using it, and everyone who has used it for the first time, they're like mind blown. We're like, wow, like this is so good. Like there's so many possibilities, and that's what drives this demand. We're like people use it and they talk to their friends. Wow, like you should try this out, and then their friends talk about it. And that becomes like a viral loop where like we create a lot of word of mouth and that keeps spreading over time, and the more you use it.
And then let's talk about your partnerships, because I think that also helped with at least the exposure of the brand this early. Recently, you announced a partnership with Visa. How did you land? Don't have essentially the product yet, but you're already able to land these big partnerships for AGI. How did you do that?
We just have been like early in the field, and we have been very visible in like efforts we've championed and like how we've kind of like built a community around us. That has resonated also with like a lot of our partners, like Visa, for example. We're working with them on agentic payments. So if our agents are running on devices, they're doing things for you. How can we make sure these things are secure? So like can we make sure like any like credit cards you use that's powered by Visa is securely like used by the agent for any transactions, nothing can go wrong. And we built a lot of like mechanisms there to ensure like proper encryption, maybe even like having like virtual cards that an agent can go and use.
And then in terms of when you're building, based on your experience, I would assume like you also have a lot of a network supporting AGI and all of these things. Like how does that help in building a company?
I would say the best way to create a company is you have to think of it like a movement.
Yeah.
Like your goal should be like, okay, you want to create a movement and like enable something new, which is fundamentally useful and better for society. At that point, like a company is almost like the thing that arises automatically. So if you're able to succeed in creating a movement around an idea, that really resonates. And then that just gives enough support, because a company at the end of the day exists to basically like maybe like enable some sort of economic value to people around you. So like if the other businesses, consumers, and they only want to use your services. If they resonate with you, they like you, like for your products, they believe in you, they believe in the mission. And the more you can show that, the more supporters you are able to build around your idea.
Where are you guys right now in terms of like funding stage? And I guess maybe we can talk a little bit about that, the challenges or things that you have to go through as a founder, bringing a company this early on in the market.
So I would say we raised our first round, that was last year. We called that a pre-seed round. And we're backed by some like really great investors, such as like Menlo Ventures, a lot of phenomenal angels. Some of them are like VPs at like DeepMind, OpenAI. And then we have a very like supporting network around us. I think we're as a startup, like there's always like funding activities happening around you, and so we have like things we're doing there, and so we'll be like announcing something.
Amazing. What excites you most in the next 3 to 5 years in terms of AI development?
Fundamentally, the way how we do things as humans is changing very fast. So even like engineering has changed a lot. Like it used to take a lot of like an army of coders and engineers who are like handwriting everything. Now it's just like you ask the AI to do things for you.
Yeah.
I will give one analogy here. It's like hand knitting, like a cloth, for example, versus
Yeah.
like just using a machine.
Yeah.
Maybe like 100 years ago, people used hand weave like clothes and everything was like human made.
Yes.
And now everything is just like machine made, right? You have like some sort of like sewing machine or whatever, like different industrial machines that mass manufacture all the clothes for you. And the coding is going through a similar phenomena. Like all of code was human written, where like a coder is like manually writing each single line of code for like 100,000 lines, which sounds crazy.
If you could change one misconception about agentic AI, what will that be?
I feel like agentic AI is it's a kind of like a buzzword. Like everything that's not a chatbot is like people think it's like a agent.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think there's a misconception of like what that means. Like what exactly is it supposed to do? Is it like some sort of business automation tool? Is it something like a personal assistant? What encompasses like a agent? That lack of definition has created a lot of ambiguity in the market. I think this is like one thing we are trying to change. Like it's like okay, like maybe having a proper definition, especially for the products you're building.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
like what is expected out of it, and can we have it like maybe replicate a lot of human interaction, like how humans interact with technology, how do they do things? Can we do a lot more of like human like interaction or build agents that are very human like? And that's one thing that we are trying to create a category out of as we grow the company.
Sounds good, because I think it's when also the SaaS boom happened, wherein there's every use case that you can think of, there's a software for it. Now we're going to the AI side. And so there's a lot of noise coming out of it. And so a lot of founders are also having a hard time putting their product out there, because even for example, for B2B products, let's say I'm working with a marketer or the head of sales or whatever that is, they don't know which way to go because there's just so many products out there. How do you actually make sure that you're not part of the noise and actually changing something? Or at least like if you wear that founder hat and not as a founder of AGI, what will you look for in an AI company to know that there's really something going on about this company that worth looking out for?
Yeah, one is just like, is there something that's novel? Core breakthrough in the technology, for example, is there like some sort of like product innovation or like some sort of business innovation? And so it's like it's how does this company stand out of the pack? And I think that's very important because like right now a lot of companies are wrappers. The field is moving very fast, and so like all the foundation model companies, they're like basically like they're growing very fast. They're expanding their product lines, and that creates a lot of disruption because like if you look at the coding agent market, now everyone is just using Cloud Code. And there used to be like 10 plus different coding agents.
Yeah.
Is there some like technological or some sort of fundamental breakthrough that's defensible over time? And how can that keep growing into becoming something really big?
And really sticks, because there's really a lot of products that I've seen that more of a hype product, like everybody's using right now, but you can see that, oh, maybe 2-3 years, that's not going to be a thing anymore because it's more of like a virality thing over like really value. So I totally get what you're saying there. In terms of what to watch out for, you did mention that you have few releases coming out and also funding closing out and stuff like that. What else should we watch out for from AGI in the next few months, and where should they reach out if they're interested to knowing more about your product?
Innovating a lot of cool new things, especially around, like as I mentioned, like on-device intelligence. And so we'll be announcing some major partnerships there. We'll also have like a lot of like developer tooling that anyone who's a founder or building a business can use that technology. Yeah, we're just very excited. We think the next big wave is going to be more centered on-device intelligence. Where like how can we decentralize a lot of capabilities and make it like very, very cheap.
I was thinking of closing, but you touch up a topic that I'm really interested to talking about. Is AGI mostly like B2B or B2C or both?
We're almost like I would say like a prosumer product in that sense.
Okay.
So we're starting more.
Because from what I've seen on your website, it seems like you're B2C.
Yes.
But from that answer you just mentioned earlier, that founders can use it also, like that could be a B2B play. So I was just curious, are you looking at both?
Yeah, I would say we are going more like I would call it product first.
Okay.
Like how do we build the best experience around an agent that actually works
Okay.
and is very reliable? And we're starting with like more like consumers who are like power users, need a lot of like help with productivity and like getting things done.
Yeah.
And down the road, we're thinking of like maybe like exposing some of our capabilities to other developers. So if someone wants to build an app that has agentic features, can they have a way to embed our agent
Okay.
as part of their thing?
Yeah, that they can integrate with you to actually leverage that to build their agents within their platform.
Yes.
I have a few hot takes, just quick, like 7 questions. Yes, no, maybe, or pass.
Sure.
That I'll just go through. Okay, let's do it. Will AI native companies replace entire SaaS categories?
Yes,
Is the biggest AI opportunity still invisible to most builders today?
I think so.
Is human in the loop just a temporary comfort blanket before full automation?
Yes.
Are we heading toward a world where execution matters more than ideas?
I feel ideas will matter more.
Will capital matter less than compute in the next decade?
No,
Will distribution matter more than product in an AI-saturated market?
I think so.
Is AI first already becoming meaningless positioning?
Pretty much. Like everyone's AI first at this point.
Yeah. Everybody pivoted to that, right? Like
Yes.
all the SaaS companies became like, oh, we're AI first company, even though the company has been around for 20 years or something like that.
Yep.
Thank you so much for joining us. This has been really fun. Hopefully, you can do another one once you release all of the new things that you're doing this year. And good luck with everything. And we hope the best for AGI.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening at Ascend Stories of Scale. This is Angelique. We'll see you next time.